Alright, so today's topic we're gonna be talking about Procreate, the app, not the act. The background game is For Honor for anyone asking, and no, I don't really recommend it unless you want to go through a lot of suffering. So if you guys don't know what Procreate is, it's a digital painting app used by many drawers around the world, developed by a company called Savage Interactive. The app was released sometime around 2011, so it's been around for quite some time, catering to artists' needs. And for many artists around the world, it's been the tool of choice. It's also an iPad exclusive app, I believe, which, if you remember, Apple did release this ad. Truly unfortunate circumstances. I personally haven't used Procreate yet. I don't own any Apple products. You can call me broke, I don't care, whatever. But from what artists I've seen showcasing it, it's a pretty sleek program. So looking at their website, it looks like it's a pretty good deal. You only have to pay once and you get to keep the app for life. I would also say it's pretty powerful for artists. You can literally take it anywhere you want. Like, you know, the iPad is very compact. You can stuff it in your backpack. But again, you have to make sure you take good care of that iPad. God knows how much they go for these days. Now, if you want the lore behind how Procreate came into this world, they actually do have a page for it on the Apple Store website. I'll leave a link down below. This is just personal opinion, okay, but the page doesn't look that great on desktop, but maybe it'll look better on your phone, maybe? I don't know, maybe not. It could just be me. Maybe I just don't like the format. Anyway, Procreate has recently caused quite the buzz online, with many creatives saying it's a massive W because Procreate and its Savage Interactive CEO James Kuda, in a very rare moment for himself, got in front of the camera and had this to say about generative AI.
Are we rolling? You've been asking us about AI. You know, I usually don't like getting in front of the camera. I prefer that our products speak for themselves. I really fucking hate generative AI. I don't like what's happening in the industry, and I don't like what it's doing to artists. We're not going to be introducing any generative AI into our products. Our products are always designed and developed with the idea that a human will be creating something. You know, we don't exactly know where this story is going to go or how it ends, but we believe that we're on the right path supporting human creativity.
So you can see why artists are calling this a big win. A very popular digital painting software CEO who arguably has a lot of influence and pull, putting his foot down on not implementing any form of generative AI is something the community has been needing and looking for a long time. Because for the past 2 years, it's been looking like every single major company out there is turning their backs on artists despite the strikes and the lawsuits. Like, Meta's been doing their shenanigans with training their own model, Adobe doubling down on generative AI, Apple, like I mentioned earlier, released that stupid ad. That ad crushing creative tools like instruments, paint buckets, cameras, TVs. That wasn't a very pretty look now, was it? And seeing someone like James Kuda being one of many people with power taking a stand and declaring their advocacy for creatives is very comforting, reassuring, I don't know the right word. And to his point of like the effects of the technology on the community and the industry, I don't think we really need to mention the state of the art community right now. We pretty much see it every single time we hop online and see some, like an artist, unknown or otherwise, posting their work. It's scrutinized down to the last pixel. You know what I'm talking about, like things like, does it look like that character has too many teeth? Do they have too many fingers? Is their hair melting into their skin or clothes? Does the lighting look off? Are the letters in the pictures weird? What parts of the drawing look warped? There's a lot of eyes shifting left and right, fingers are being pointed everywhere like it's a game of Among Us trying to find out who's using generative AI. Something I admittedly have participated in. Truly, really not my proudest of moments. Anyway, back to Procreate, it's absolutely a move that makes sense and a decision I can get behind. After all, Procreate's target market are, like James Kuda said, human artists, and if you read the lore behind the app, James Kuda himself is also an artist. He himself was a freelance web designer and also started drawing on the iPad back in 2010. This is a man who is absolutely in touch with the community and understands what artists are going through. Now, interesting point of note though is that Marcus Brownlee himself shared his thoughts on the video. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a pretty well-known YouTuber who does various reviews involving tech. Now, I don't really watch his content, but I do know him as the guy who quote-unquote single-handedly took down a car company with a single video. Anyway, he had this to say, quote, "Bookmark this," which I promptly did, as you can see from the blue icon indicating that the post has been bookmarked. Procreate CEO gets on camera to make it clear that he hates generative AI and they will not be integrating it ever into any of their products. Artists and users on social media celebrate. Take notes, Adobe. But technically, this is committing to never offering any of the features in their products, no matter how good or useful they might get in the future. An announcement to not add features. I wonder if they will ever bend this rule someday. So my answer to his question at the last part, most likely not, at least in the foreseeable future. There are people on both sides of the coin saying that generative AI can be used as a tool. However, as far as I'm seeing it right now, outside of the ideation stage, I really don't see much use for generative AI for artists. I mean, James Kuda even says it himself, we don't know where the story goes or how it will end. Maybe artists will find a way to use generative AI as a tool better than they are being utilized right now. That discovery is not going to be made by me, let's be honest. I'm just someone who yaps, but as of right now, I remain skeptical. I don't really see that much use for it. Anyway, end of the day, Procreate is a software designed for artists, and thus artists are their target market. It makes sense not only from a moral standpoint where the CEO, who is an artist himself, understands artists' woes and champions for creatives, but also from a business standpoint. If you think about it, right, if you've created a product that is targeted specifically towards a certain group, you don't want to lose that customer base. And I mean that statement with the utmost respect. I think you would be hard-pressed to find a non-artist that's willing to give Procreate a chance. And this declaration against generative AI also paints them in a very positive light. Photoshop, in contrast, might be the standard, but the perception of Adobe is shifting towards the negative. I mean, makes sense, right, considering all the stunts they've pulled so far. Now we're seeing lots of people wanting to turn away from Adobe, cancel their subscription, and look for alternatives, of which some are actually pretty sweet deals. Some options are free, and a lot of options you only have to pay once and you get to keep the program forever. And as a result, people have been discovering new painting programs. I personally use Clip Studio Paint, but others have also been recommending programs like Krita, CorelDRAW, and Affinity Products, to name a few. Procreate is now going to be one of those programs that many creatives will move over to without having to pay a subscription, as long as they have an iPad and they take good care of it. Don't drop it, that costs hundreds of dollars. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the situation. Quick announcement, my uploads are probably going to be a little irregular. I'm still trying to figure out which direction I want this channel to go. You know, do some recalibrating. I still do want to do art related stuff. I'll still be doing commentary videos, but yeah, we'll see what the future brings. Anyway, see ya. Wait, hold on, no shot the Apple Pencil costs around $100. What are we talking about here? Wow, I don't own any Apple products, but goddamn, that thing better come free with the iPad.